أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أهلا وسهلا إلى مركز العلوم والحكمة Remote Study. Welcome to the 52nd part of our lesson series from the book titled My Quran Teacher. I am Mudaris Sulaiman Ali. Happy listening. So in this part of the lesson, we are going to discuss two types of alif from the Noble Quran, or in Arabic language. There are two types of alif in Arabic language or in the Noble Quran. There is what is called alif al-wasl. Alif al-wasl and alif al-qati. Alif al-wasl means joint alif. Joint alif. And alif al-qati means disjoint alif. Alif al-qati is read wherever it is found in the Noble Quran, whether you find it at the beginning of a word, in the center of a word, or at the end of a word. Wherever it is found, it must be read. And that is not the case of alif al-wasl, which means joint alif. Alif al-qati, disjoint alif. It is a kind of alif on which there is small ainun written. There is small ainun written on alif al-qati, as we can see. This small ainun written on the alif. When small ainun is written on alif, so it is called alif al-qati, disjoint alif. Then alif al-wasli is a kind of alif that has small sodun written on it. You can find out from the Noble Quran. So it is called alif al-wasli. Any other alif that is different from this, it is called alif al-wasli, which means joint alif. Now the examples of alif al-qati. The example of this. Here is alif al-qati. We read it as ak-ra'u. So it is read, not omitted. Ak-ra'u. Now here it is in the center. Thumma akra'u. So it is read also, not omitted. Thumma akra'u. MashaAllah. Then we have it here at the end of the word. We have it here at the end of the word. So we read it as an-naba'u. 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 لعلك فهمت؟ Who? So the following are the features of alif al-wasli. Now we are talking about alif al-wasli. The following are the features of alif al-wasli. In the case of alif al-wasli, the vowel sound of the third letter determine the vowel sound you must give to alif al-wasli. Alif al-wasli always appears without vowel sound, without fataha, kasra or dhamma. However, the vowel sound of alif al-wasli is determined by the vowel sound of the third letter, of the third letter of the word, where alif al-wasli is found. That is number one feature. Number two, if the third letter is carrying fataha or kasra, you give alif al-wasli kasra. That is the first principle. If the third letter is carrying fataha or kasra, that will now determine the kind of vowel sound you have to give to alif al-wasli, which is fataha, which is kasra. So you give it kasra. Number two, if the third letter is carrying dhamma, so you give alif al-wasli dhamma. I repeat, if the third letter is carrying fataha or kasra, so you give alif al-wasli kasra, not fataha. And if the third letter is carrying dhamma, you give alif al-wasli dhamma. Then the next one, if you see lamun immediately after alif al-wasli, So you give alif al-wasli fataha. That lamun is telling you to give alif al-wasli fataha. And alif al-wasli is dropped, is omitted when there is a letter with vowel sound before it. When it is preceded by another letter with vowel sound, so you drop it, it became ineffective. We are going to illustrate that from the following. Okay, here is example number 1. Here is alif al-wasli, without fataha, without kasra, without dhamma. So how do we read it? We count our letters, starting with alif al-wasli. 1, 2, 3. Ra'un is the third letter. Since Ra'un is carrying fataha, we give the alif al-wasli kasra. So we now read it as ikra, ikra, ikra. Here is another one. 1, 2, 3. So Ha'un is the third letter. Ha'un is carrying fataha. So that fataha is telling us to give alif al-wasli here kasra. We say idhhab. I, not a. Idhhab. The third one. 1, 2, 3. So this town is carrying fataha. As a result of that, we give alif al-wasli kasra. We say iftah. Iftah. Lalaka fahimta? This ikra. Idhhab. Iftah. Okay? This is the case whereby the third letter is carrying fataha, which makes us to give alif al-wasli kasra. Now the third letter here is carrying kasra here. This is another section where the third letter carries kasra. 1, 2, 3. Lamun is the third letter and is carrying kasra. In that case, we give alif al-wasli kasra. We now read it as ijlis, not a, but I. Ijlis. 1, 2, 3. So we read this as idrib, idrib, idrib. 1, 2, 3. Sinun is carrying kasra. So we give alif al-wasli kasra. We say igsil. Igsil. I, not a. Igsil. So now the third one is where the third letter is carrying dhamma, which we said that if the third letter is carrying dhamma, we give alif al-wasli dhamma. Now let's count our letters. 1, 2, 3. The round is carrying dhamma. We give this alif dhamma. We say ok, okrom. U, not a, not I. Okrom. The same thing is applicable to this. Usjud. 1, 2, 3. Third letter carrying dhamma. We give the alif dhamma. We say usjud. Here, obud. 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 Ainu sukun. Obud. Okay, here is the fourth rule. Here is the fourth rule, where we said that if you see alif al-wasli or you find alif al-wasli at the beginning of a verse of the Noble Quran, and after alif al-wasli you see lamun immediately after it, that lamun is telling you to give the alif fataha. So you now read this as al-qari'ah, al-qari'ah. Here is alif al-wasli at the beginning, and there's lamun immediately after it. So this lamun is telling you to give it fataha. You say al-haqqa, al-haqqa, not il and not ul. Here is another one. Here is alif al-wasli at the beginning, and there is lamun immediately after it. This lamun is now telling us to give this alif fataha. We now read it as al-Qur'an, al-Qur'an. You will never hear ul-Qur'an or il-Qur'an. Rather, al-Qur'an. Here is the fifth one, where we said that if the alif al-wasli is preceded by another letter with vowel sound, that letter is going to make alif al-wasli ineffective. Ineffective. Alif al-wasli will be omitted, will be ignored, will not be used anymore. Here we are going to read it as waqra. So this alif becomes silent letter. It becomes ineffective. It becomes passive, no longer active. So we now read as wakra. We connect one with kafun sukun. Wakra. Here as wadhhab. Wadhhab. So the alif has become passive, no longer effective. Wadhhab. Here as waftah. Waftah. So the alif has become passive. Why is this so? Because it is found in the middle of a sentence or a phrase. Because it has been found in the middle or in the center of a phrase. That is why it is omitted. It can only be active when it is found at the beginning of a word, as we said earlier. Here is another one. Letters of prolongation lose their function whenever they are preceded by alif al-wasl. So here is ma with alif maddi, and the alif maddi is telling us to draw our ma. Once there is alif al-wasl after alif maddi, or after yaw maddi, or after waw maddi, alif maddi, yaw maddi, and waw maddi will become passive. They will no longer be effective because of alif al-wasl. For instance, here we read it as mal kitab, no longer mali. No, you are not going to draw it anymore because the alif al-wasl here has rendered them ineffective. We now read it as mal kitab, no longer ma. No, that is wrong. Rather mal kitab. Here as fil ardi. Fil, no longer feel. No, that is wrong. This alif al-wasl has rendered the yaw maddi ineffective and passive. Fil ardi. Here as dhul arshi. Dhul arshi. This wawn is no longer effective because of alif al-wasl. La'alaka fahimta? I hope you understand. MashaAllah. So each of those letters of prolongation have lost their function because of the presence of alif al-wasl before them. I hope you understand. Now, so second sign of tanween is turned to nunu with kasra when preceded by alif al-wasl. What does that mean? Here is one with double fatha. Still talking about alif al-wasl. One with fatha. We are supposed to read it as lahawan. Lahawan. And this alif al-wasl. So we are going to read with single fatha. How are we going to read this? We are going to start reading with single fatha. Lahawa. So the second fatha, we turn it to nunun with kasra. That is the only way we can read this correctly. Lahawa nin faddu. You are having one with double fatha here. You are going to read with single fatha, which is this. This is what I'm talking about. Lahawa. So the second fatha turn into nunun kasra. Then attach it to this. So the alif al-wasl will be ineffective, will be passive. We now read this as lahawa nin faddu. Lahawa nin faddu. Lahawa nin faddu. That is how we read it. Here is another one. When you see alif al-wasl after double kasra or double dhamma or double fatha, read with single kasra. I repeat. Wherever you see alif al-wasl after double kasra, you read with single kasra. That means you read it as yawma idhi, like this. Yawma idhi. The second kasra turn into nunun kasra. Even though it is not written here, just imagine it. Just imagine it. So you turn it to nunun kasra. So it becomes yawma idhinil masaqo. Yawma idhinil masaqo. I repeat, whenever you see alif al-wasl after double kasra, or after double dhamma, or after double fatha, read with single fatha, or single kasra, or single dhamma, and turn the second one to nunu with kasra. Just imagine it, even though it is not written here. La'alaka fahimta? يومئذ المساء.